All right, let's talk about something that every single developer is constantly fighting against: complexity. It's the enemy, right? Well, today we're going to demystify a design pattern that's basically your shield against all that mess. It's called the facade. And trust me, it's all about making your life way, way simpler. So, does this sound familiar? You pull in some powerful new library, and suddenly, bam, you're lost in this jungle of classes all tangled together. You're trying to figure out this super specific, unforgiving order of operations just to get one simple thing to work. Yeah? If you're nodding your head right now, you are absolutely in the right place. I mean, this is the pain we all know and, well, hate. You want to do something simple, right? Like, say, convert a video file. But before you can do that, you've got to initialize a video codec, then an audio mixer, then a file reader, and like a dozen other things. You miss one step or you get the order wrong, and boom, the whole thing just crashes. And what's worse, your code gets so stuck, so tightly coupled to that library, that when they push an update, you're stuck rewriting half your app. It's just so brittle and frustrating, and it feels so complicated for no good reason. But what if I told you there's a much simpler way to handle all this? What if we could just hide all that mess behind one single clean interface? Well, we can, and the solution is actually pretty darn elegant. Okay, to really get this, let's step away from the code for a second. Let's think about a call center. Imagine you need to order a product. So you've got to check if it's in stock, pay for it, and then get it shipped to you. Simple enough, right? Now you could do this the hard way. You call the billing department, then you hang up, call the warehouse, then you hang up and call the shipping department. You're juggling 3 different calls, hoping you didn't mess anything up. Or there's the simple way. You make one call, a single operator picks up and handles everything for you. You don't care who they talk to behind the scenes, you just have that one number. That single, helpful operator who does all the work for you, that is your facade. It's the simple front that hides all the complicated stuff happening in the background. And that brings us right to the official textbook definition. A facade is what's called a structural design pattern, and it does exactly what our call center operator did. It gives you a simplified, high-level interface to a really complex library or set of classes. And here's the key. It doesn't replace all that complexity. It just puts a nice, clean wrapper around it to make it a whole lot easier to use. Okay, so how does this actually look in our code? Let's break it down and see how we get from total chaos to some nice, clean clarity. All right, so here's the before picture. This is you, right now. Your main application code is trying to talk directly to all those different, messy classes in that video library. It's just a tangled web of dependencies, a real mess. And now, here's the after. So much better, right? Your code is only talking to one thing: our nice, clean facade. The facade then turns around and does all the dirty work, dealing with that complex system for you. All that mess is just contained, hidden away. Your new workflow becomes beautifully simple. Seriously. Step 1, your code creates just one facade object. Step 2, you call a single, simple method on it, something like convert video. You just pass in the file and what format you want. And that's it, you're done. The facade takes it from there, doing all the complicated stuff internally. You know, creating the codecs, managing the files, the whole shebang. You don't have to know or care about any of those details. And that's really the key takeaway here. The facade is like a smart coordinator. It knows exactly which part of that complex system to talk to and in what order. It basically holds all that specialized knowledge so that the rest of your code doesn't have to. Now, this all sounds pretty great, I know. But listen, it's not a silver bullet you should use for every single problem. So the big question is, when is a facade actually the right tool for the job? Well, there are a few classic situations where it really shines. The most obvious one? You've got this massive, sophisticated library, but you only need like 2 or 3 features from it. A facade is perfect for just exposing the simple stuff you actually care about. Another huge one is when you want to protect your code from a third-party library. If that library gets a breaking update, guess what? You only have to fix your facade, not rewrite your entire application. And finally, you can use them to structure a really big system. Think of it like creating layers, where each layer has its own facade as the front door. But of course, like any pattern in software, there are always trade-offs. So let's be fair and take a look at the pros and the cons. Okay, on the pro side, the wins are pretty obvious. You decouple your code, which means it doesn't break as easily. You make complicated libraries way easier to use, and your code just becomes cleaner and easier for the next person to read. But there is a big one to watch out for. Your facade can turn into what we call a God object. Basically, it's the single class that knows and does everything. It gets tangled up with every single part of the subsystem, and if you're not careful, the facade itself becomes this massive, complicated bottleneck you were trying to avoid in the first place. So if there's just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. A well-designed facade gives you two incredible advantages: simplicity and isolation. It hides the mess and it protects your code. Simple as that. And that leaves me with one final question for you. When you get back to your projects, take a hard look at your code base. I guarantee you'll find it, that one super messy part or that nightmare of a library that is just begging for a facade to be built in front of it. I hope this little explainer helps you spot it.